Okay, so I was on YouTube and I saw a few people do this challenge. It was the tag inspired by Kelly Patricia. So I'll be answering a few questions about chronic illness, what I do. There are 11 questions on here. It's called the Chronic Illness Challenge. So here we go. Okay, so let's get started. The first question is, what are you diagnosed with? So I was diagnosed with systematic lupus erythematosus. That's what the official name is. Most people know it as SLE lupus. And I also have lupus nephritis, which is kidney disease caused by lupus. Okay, the second question is, what do you tend to do at night when you can't sleep? So obviously sleeping is like one of the biggest symptoms or sometimes even side effects associated with having some type of chronic illness. So what I usually do when I can't sleep is, first things first, I watch Netflix. Usually I try to do that, binge watch something until I fall asleep. If I can't go to sleep, I usually have some form of melatonin. Either, chewables that you can get from the store, pill form. I also have like sleepy time tea. Chamomile tea works great. I just try to use something to just give me to shut my eyes, because otherwise it's either the pain or too much on my mind, or other distractions that keep me from going to sleep. So that's what I do. What's the worst experience or side effect you have had of a medication? So obviously prednisone, the biggest side effect, and this is an experience too, is the circle face. They call it the moon face, but I just get like this puffiness of my face. It makes your face really round. The other experience that I would say is really tough is the depression associated with that medication. Like, I can just be like super high and super low, just in terms of my emotions when I'm on prednisone. And I think that's been the biggest challenge, because that doesn't just affect me, it affects my family, socially, I know a lot of people say I'm difficult at times, but it's really tough when you have these emotional imbalances. So that's one of the biggest things I have to deal with. Okay, the fourth question is, how has your condition impaired your mental health? Last question, just answered it. It just makes me go up and down, like I said, emotionally. Before lupus, I've never had any, issues with depression or anxiety, or I've noticed myself being anxious a lot, just over the tiniest things, like, just going out in public, talking to other people. Before then, I had never taken any, antidepressants or anything like that. So mentally it's just really straining. So it gets you down. Number 5, what best describes your social life? I would say that I really don't have a social life outside of like family, my boyfriend, and work or something, like might be invited to like a work party or meeting or something like that. But I really, especially after college, I think it's difficult to make friends, or I would take that back. It's not difficult to make friends, it's difficult to keep friends when like you're so up and down all the time. Like, somebody invites you to a party Friday night, and sure, you're up for it today, but by Friday that ain't happening. So I think I'm afraid to have a social life because of that. And also, like, say if I am feeling great and I want to go out that night, I'm deep down inside, I'm worried that my joints might start aching while I'm out, my muscles might cramp up on me, and I might not get from the car to the location. So I would say my social life outside of my family my family is my everything, but outside of my family, it just really doesn't exist. And I think that's just something part of me, and that's something I do want to work on, you know, getting over that. Number 6. What is the hardest thing to do when you're flaring? Go out. Get up out of bed is the hardest thing to do when I'm in a lupus flare. With the sun, I can't really be outside, so that's, you know, something that has kept me with, like, when my joints are aching or my muscles are aching, walking is one of the biggest things. Like, I feel really weak a lot, so like lifting things and you know, like I just remember one of the hardest things when I was in like a biggest flare was like simply going to the grocery store. Like, I mean, it was just like the stress and the physical activity of driving there, from the walk from the car to the grocery store, you know, going down each aisle to look for what you're looking for when your concentration is all over the place and can't really focus. The anxiety of being there, just other people around, being around other people. Like a lot of times when I used to go to the grocery store, I would like have to find like a seat or a spot somewhere, and because I would be so physically tired that I just had to take a break. So yeah, like simply going to the grocery store. It's also hard to really stay on task. I might, you know, have a list of things I need to do, but you know, when the lupus flare comes, that's kind of really out the door. So the hardest thing is giving up my like routine and my schedule, or my goals sometimes, you know, or I would say to-do list. Giving up that to-do list, because it kind of sets you back sometimes. The hardest thing to do also sometimes is even taking a shower. I know that like it's not the like washing up part, but like the physical activity of standing. Like I would have to take a break after my shower because the shower was so much physical activity. So yeah, I would say that's one of the few hardest things that I have to deal with, you know, when I'm in a lupus flare. Do you have worries for the future? That's probably literally my number one, my biggest worry is just the future in general. The life that I want for myself in terms of being married and having kids. Sometimes I do worry, you know, about the strain of relationship when I have lupus. I'm worried about being able to, you know, have a child of my own. Sometimes I get a little worried, you know, I wonder if everything's like still good. And sometimes I ask myself if I even can take care of a child. Like, so that's like, a child is one of the biggest things that I want in life, and it's also one of my biggest worries because I want to physically be able to handle that, and like handle being a mother and yeah, that part of life. Other than that, I'm not too worried about lupus, since lupus it's up and down, but it's still stable in terms of I haven't had anything super like life-threatening. Sometimes I have my days where I'm like, well, what if I don't live that long, or what if, you know, with lupus it attacks different things, and I'm like, what if it attacks, you know, another part of my body where I can't, you know, it'll, you know, set me back, or I won't be able to do the things that I want. I want to travel. I want to, you know, have my different businesses, and, you know, I feel like that's just one of the biggest worries, yeah, for the future. I'm also really worried that there's not going to be like that much of progress with lupus medications. Like I see little like, you know, news articles and things like that about it, but I haven't seen any medicine other than, you know, prednisone, and that's just, you know, keeping lupus stable. But I worry about the future of, you know, lupus and if it can be cured. Okay, number 8, my favorite comfort food. Finally, like a nicer, like lighter question. My favorite comfort food would have to be ramen noodles, which is super horrible, and it's just, you know, I don't know what they put in those little crack packets, but like it's like just one of my favorite comfort foods. I love it because it's warm. I mean, ramen noodles, like how can you say no? it has to be the instant, quick ones though. Like, you know, it's nice to go out to a restaurant and have like real ramen, but instant noodles, top ramen, that's one of the best. Honestly, sometimes with prednisone, anything is comforting. Like any type of food, anything going in my mouth that tastes good is comforting. Any food that I see, think of, smell, see on TV, see, drive by, anything is gonna be comforting when you're on prednisone. Okay, number 9, it says, tell us a valuable lesson you've learned from being sick. I would say the most valuable lesson I've learned is trusting in God, trusting that God can heal me from, you know, any sickness or disease, knowing that I'm gonna be okay, no matter how hard it gets sometimes, you know, no matter what the doctors say. This is my test, and this is my trial that I have to go through. So I have to live with it. So I think that's the biggest thing I've learned, is that if I don't trust in God, I don't really have anything else. I don't really have anything else to rely on. That's taking away like all my hope. So I think that I've learned you go through things in life, things aren't going to be that great, but if you trust in God, it's going to be okay. If you trust and believe in Him, it's going to be okay. Number 10, name 3 things you miss that were taken from you because of your illness. What has been taken from me? I would say number 1 is my energy. I feel like I used to have a lot of energy. You know, I used to play basketball. You know, I used to, you know, want to do other sports, or, you know, I did drill team, dancing, praise dance. You know, I think that's something that I was really good at, and I feel like because of my physical, you know, being at times, I'm not able to do those things anymore. So yeah, energy, and also like physical activity, you know, the energy of that associated with that. I mean, it took my health. And the last question is, how old were you when you first started experiencing symptoms? I was age 15, I believe. Yeah, 15. And let's see, one of my first symptoms was just that tiredness. I was tired all of the time. Like, I would get home from school, take a nap, but I wouldn't wake up till the next day. So that's when I knew something was wrong. And then once things started backing up, I wasn't doing my homework, I wasn't, you know, doing my, you know, chores, and my family was noticing that I was sleeping all the time. That was like one of the biggest, you know, red flags. So yeah, and that's it. So thank you for watching. This actually is my first video, and I want to do a lot more of these videos, just answering questions about you know, my chronic illness, lupus, and, you know, what I go through, what I've been through. And I just, you know, want to encourage others, and you know, have a platform for myself, an outlet for myself, so that I can, you know, express how I'm feeling. Okay, so thanks for watching, and, you know, if you like this video, make sure you click like and also subscribe. Tell a friend, share it with others. Anybody going through lupus or any other chronic illness, you know, I challenge you to, you know, look through these questions and reflect on, you know, your experience, what you've gone through. Alright, that's it. See you later. Bye.